Hey, Ryan Brown here. Sorry for the poor lighting today. I've done the best I can, but I'm not with my typical camera and light equipment, etc. So we're just going to make do with a homemade video here, quite literally, just using the laptop. But I want to talk about the Ahmaud Arbery case a little bit, give an update. There was a hearing today. It was broadcast on Court TV. There's been a lot of, some mention of it, right? There's a lot going on in the world right now. Certainly, finally, some protest, hoping to bring some justice that has really come to a head following the Ahmaud Arbery murder, as well as George Floyd, etc. But I want to come back to Ahmaud Arbery for just a moment. One, because it is local here in Georgia, and two, because there was an important step today, and I think it's worth taking a look at and talking about what the hearing today was, what it's about, what it means for the case, and kind of a step in the criminal case process that perhaps not everyone knows about. So there was a hearing today called a preliminary hearing. It's called several things. It can be called a preliminary hearing, a probable cause hearing, a committal hearing. It's called different things based on what county you're in, what jurisdiction you're practicing in, etc. But here's kind of what it is. After an arrest, there is an initial first appearance. It's usually held within 48 hours or 72 hours, depending on whether or not the arrest was made with a warrant or not. So that's the first thing you have. You have a first appearance. It's the very first thing. It's non-adversarial. It is for the judge to set a bond, inform you of the charges. Prosecutors usually not present. This hearing, the probable cause hearing, the committal hearing, the one that happened today in the Ahmaud Arbery case, it is the first adversarial step in the case. It is something that happens in magistrate court. So felonies are handled up in superior court. This hearing, however, takes place in an inferior court called magistrate court. It is presided over by a magistrate judge. The rules of evidence apply but are relaxed. Hearsay is admissible, for instance, that may not be otherwise be admissible in superior court. And there's no jury. It is heard by the magistrate judge. The prosecutor is present for these hearings. The defendants are there. They were represented by counsel. And the purpose of the hearing is to determine whether or not there is probable cause for the charges. So this is not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not 50-50 chance, preponderance. It's not clear and convincing. It's just to determine whether or not there is probable cause to believe that the defendants committed the crimes. And if the court finds that there is probable cause, then the magistrate court, they call it bind over. So the magistrate court binds the case over to superior court, where the case will be handled. Indictments are returned in superior court that brings formal charges. Arraignments are in superior court. All plea negotiations and any subsequent jury trial happen in superior court. So the overwhelming amount of cases that have preliminary hearings, the judges almost always find probable cause to bind the case over to superior court and allow for the case to proceed. So that is what happened today. The prosecutors and the defense had a hearing, a preliminary hearing, committal hearing. The purpose of that hearing to determine whether or not there was probable cause to sustain the charges against Roddy Bryan and the McMichaels, and the court found that there was probable cause. So now the case can proceed in superior court. That does not mean they're going to be convicted, does not mean anything like that. There's still a long way to go to determine what's going to happen in this Ahmaud Arbery case. But I just wanted to provide some information about what a preliminary hearing is and inform everyone that that is what happened at the hearing today. Thank you all very much, and y'all be safe.